Hello friends, welcome to the lecture on the presentation skills in English. I am Dr. Stas Jasmine. This lecture is in three parts. The first part is about planning and structuring the presentation. The second part is about adapting a range of styles. And the third and final part is about closing and handling questions. Oral presentation requires the use of specific skills to be an effective presenter. Yes, language skills are very important, but there are other skills involved in it. They are choosing the best content, identifying the right objective, getting the process right, and finally adapting the language to the listener. So, how could one improve his or her presentation skills? It starts with planning. Planning the presentation. It is said that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So, you plan with tips. What is tips? T stands for the target audience. I stands for the right information. O P stands for the organizing process and S stands for the communication style. I repeat, T for the target audience, I for the information, P for the process, and S for the style. So now the question arises, who are my target audience? What do they really want? Are they experts or non experts? So, after identifying the target audience, I should move on to the information. What kind of information should I present? The information should be according to the level of knowledge of the audience. So, now after selecting the information, I move on to the next step. Hello friends, welcome to the lecture on the presentation skills in English. I am Dr. Stas Jasmine. This lecture is in three parts. The first part is about planning and structuring. The next thing is the communication style. Is my style going to match the audience expectation? How am I going to bridge the gap? For example, if you have the audience from another ethnic background, you may not be able to immediately merge. So it is better to know the culture of the audience before you start the presentation. This is how you'll be able to adapt the communication style in the presentation. It starts with planning. Planning the presentation. It is said that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So you plan with tips. What is tips? T stands for the target audience. I stand. You have another sample which is present the proposal, say why it is important, highlight the challenges, and conclude with an action plan. But whatever the structure be, the ideas have to be made crystal clear. So, how to make things crystal clear to the audience? The presenter needs to use the signpost to make things clear to the listeners. It could be done in many ways, and some of them are highlighted here. There are 6 ways of making the ideas clear. The first is introduce ideas using some expressions like, let me begin the discussion. It's time to turn our attention to. Now, the second way is by using some sequencing words like firstly, secondly, next, then, and finally. The third is by connecting. Connecting phrases could be used in order to connect the ideas. For example, in relation to the first point I made, or concerning the second point regarding the action plan to be taken. So, these are some of the connecting phrases that could be used in a presentation. The fourth is developing. You develop the ideas using some expressions. If I could expand on the action plan, etc., it might be useful if I give you the statistics now. The next point is referencing backwards and forwards. I shall come back to this point later, or as already mentioned in the graph. So, by using such expressions, you will be able to connect the ideas in the beginning and also the ideas that are going to come at the latter end. And the final point is closing. Signaling the end is very important. You need to summarize the presentation and conclude the presentation with questions. So, these are some of the ideas which you could have in mind when you are presenting or structuring your presentation. So, in this presentation, we have seen how to plan using tips and how to bring about clarity in the presentation by using the signposts. Here there is an exercise. Identify the connectives that give clarity to the audience. So read the paragraph and identify the words which connect one idea with the other idea. They are sometimes the sequencing words. So we have come to the end of part 1, and in the next part I'll be presenting how to prepare the presentation and how to deliver it in style. Thank you.